everybody, it's Shelly Hoffman, and I'm with Dick Clarke. And I gotta believe at this point, I probably don't even have to introduce us anymore, Mayor, because everybody, everybody that I talk to says
we're like Abbott and Costello.
yeah, pretty much. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited because everywhere I go, I hear people talking about lighting up their house in the village because the mayor asked them to, including there was some nut running around on the roof of a building going to light up a tree on a roof because the mayor told her to.
I believe that person tagged you in the post as well, just to make sure people knew.
But I was glad that you sort of joined in the excitement. I think people were going to think that's really different, and so I've had other people tell me that they put up an extra set of lights or they weren't going to do it this year, but because the mayor asked them to, they're going to light it. I mean, I know I'm not creating, a mass revolution here in the village, but
it's exciting. It's nice.
Yeah,
it is nice.
Talking about it, if nothing else, and that's good.
Right. Well, I have to tell you what happened to me last night. I'm friends with I don't know if you know Tina Solomon, who's a local, so we were together down in the village, the heart of the village, and I had left, and she left after me. Her and her husband Tim, who's a teacher over at Baker, and I have my house set up to be lit up, but I don't have the lights on yet. They are now calling my house the dark house on the hill. Because as you drive up Oswego, you have all these beautiful lights, the bed and breakfast, they have their lights on and neighbors. So I'm now the dark house on the hill. So
I will eventually. You got that reputation, you didn't have to work at it.
That's true.
Well, I've noticed quite a few houses lit up, before Thanksgiving, which is unusual.
Yes.
And I know our neighbor across the street said, if we didn't get a real tree, I'd already have our tree up, because she's fed up with what goes on, but they have 3 big blow ups in their front yard, nice. Like 10 feet tall, and it's kind of cool at night to look out and see. And it was fun to watch her husband putting them up, and they have twin daughters, I think are maybe 4, and they were so excited. They were running around. They were helping straighten out the figures, and it was kind of cool to watch. So maybe they're creating a tradition with their kids that when they get older, they'll want to do the same kind of thing.
Yeah,
it was fun, and we've got ours up. I don't have anything yet spectacular in the front, but we did do a thing in the back I've never done before, and it looks pretty cool. I took 3 tomato cages, big tomato cages, and push the points together so it looks like when you put it upside down, it looks like a tree.
Okay.
2 of them with green lights, and the one in the middle, which I have sitting on top of a 5-gallon bucket, are red lights. So at nighttime, when there's no lights on at all, in the backyard, there's these 3 little trees. And I've always wanted to do that, and this is the perfect year to do it. Didn't take too much time or energy, and I don't know how many people can see. You can see it from both sides of our house if you're driving up and down the street, but you have to be kind of looking. I mean, it's not as tall as the house or something, I mean, it's the tomato cage is like 3-4 feet tall maybe. So they aren't spectacular, but I think it's kind of cool colors. And I've been pretty excited what people are doing. Now, don't forget, for people who decorate, there is a contest. Go on the public access channel for Baldwinsville on their Facebook site and put a picture of your decorations, and you may win a $100 gift certificate. I think you got another week and a half before the voting is closed. I think December 5th might be the last day to vote. So I'm interested. I haven't been on the site yet to see if anybody's posted.
Yeah.
But hopefully there'll be some people will take advantage of it, and we're waiting a little bit. I thought maybe Saturday night or Sunday night we would take a ride around the village and just to see what people have done. So you've got a chance. So you're not the dark house on the hill.
I'm not the dark. Well, my goal, just real quick, and I'll ask you what else is happening in the village, but in the front, I'm going for like a classic, white lights, really pretty. But my kids love whimsical, AKA tacky. So I think the back of the house is going to be, so when you're coming down the hill from the back of the high school, it's going to be tacky, so maybe like Santa Claus and gifts floating. Don't kill me, Terry Farragon, because her and I had this conversation. And then from the front, you'll just have the whites and the garland, and so depending on which direction of my house, you get whimsical or you get like a classic look.
You got a little something for everybody.
And then I'm going to enter that contest, so we'll see what happens.
With the holiday coming up, so I don't forget, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I know it's going to be different. I've seen on Facebook people posting pictures of their dining room table from a year ago when it was covered with plates, and it's not going to be like that this year. I do like the thing I saw somebody posted. I can miss one Thanksgiving so that we won't be missing one of our family members next year, type thing. And the chief asked that I pass along that his only thought about adding to our little conversation was to ask people to try to adhere to the 10-person rule, the safe distancing and everything you can do to try to mitigate the circumstances of spreading the virus. And we're really getting dangerously close to getting more stuff shut down. We really don't want to go back to that. Back to where the only place restaurants can serve food is outdoors, which will work well when it's 44 degrees and raining. So I'm hoping people think about outside the box and think about other people, and not worry just about that they're going to miss out on something. And it's easy for me to say, because you're used to getting together with your family, and maybe it's sometimes the only time you see them all year. If they live outside the area, it's tough. That's what this computer type stuff that we do every week. People can do that in their homes. I would continue to remind people to support causes. If you're a breast cancer supporter, fight breast cancer, don't not support them this year, because a lot of people are facing tough times and won't be able to support. So at least the people who can, if they do, it will keep money flowing. And the same with our local organizations, the backpack thing with the Rotary and all that type of stuff, the ambulance corps, the Meals on Wheels, whatever. Sound like a broken record, but I don't know how many of the same people might watch what we're putting out. Just realize that everybody's being stretched. A lot of people are out of work. So all these agencies that had big fundraisers, I know my sisters and I have registered for the turkey trot, and we're going to probably walk Friday morning. Supposed to be 50-ish and not raining. And if you take a look at what they do every year with the money they make on the turkey trot, they don't keep the money themselves. They hand it out to other organizations like the ones we've been talking about. Right. And if without the turkey trot, they're going to have less to give. And correct. People who have little kids that are counting on support from different agencies are going to find that there's not as much money there to support them. So that would be my Thanksgiving wish for people, is that they would remember, if you used to give $20 and can only give $5, that'll make a difference. Right. So we're off of that. Talked with Chuck at DPW. Essentially, brush pickup is done for the season. Leaves are off the trees. You may have a little brush. Leave it in a pile, and in the spring, bring it out and put it at the road. We usually have tree pickup after Christmas. They go around and pick up the real trees if you put them out at the curb. So I don't think we've stopped doing that. The decorations are up on the poles around the village.
They look nice.
Yeah, and it's always kind of the beginning of the season when they go up. We're getting into our winter mode. Everybody's getting ready for that dreaded white stuff coming down, and snow plowing. And yet we have to try to stay safe in the process, because, there's nothing worse than having your whole snowplow crew sitting at home quarantined because somebody might have been exposed. So we're trying to encourage our people to be as safe as possible. It's the best we can do. Trying to think here. Codes, I had nothing particular. Courts are quiet. Canton Woods, kind of some of the usual stuff. I know with the numbers going up, people are wondering how long before the senior centers get shut back down, and that certainly is a possibility. I did check the other day with the county executive's office and said, should we be shutting down senior centers? And the answer I got was, I am told no.
Okay.
So that may be short-lived if we jump to an orange zone. So it's all in our people's hands and how they take care of things. Canton Woods still, though, has you can get a Christmas dinner delivered to somebody who's homebound or doesn't get out much, or they're alone. You have to order by December 4th. Call the senior center for that. This is a rescue mission meal, and another group that really needs our support. Food Sense deadline December 7th. Again, for people who might be watching, this is not just for seniors. And it's a nice box, mixed different meats and vegetables and prepared foods and so on. And so call the center and find out how you sign up for that. Those of you who are seniors and get the newsletter, this is time to renew your newsletter. This is your link to the center. So make sure you call and tell them you're renewing. All the programs have moved inside, the 4 or 5 that are going on. Again, they're following the protocol, masks and distancing, and they're opening windows for fresh air. And you have to call in advance to sign up because space is limited. So, don't just show up and expect to get in a group. Memory lane has been clicking along nicely. We've been having 4 to 5 different images, and usually it's couples. So that's 8 to 10 people. And we just start out with a theme, which is very loose. Maybe it's this week we started out talking about a vacation from when we were kids, and found out that of the 8 of us there, almost none of us ever had a vacation when we were kids. It was not like today. People take a vacation in the spring, summer, Thanksgiving. They're traveling to, islands and cruises. And, I said, our vacation was, my father took a week in the summer so he could fish. He took a week in the fall so he could hunt pheasants. And he took a week around the week of Thanksgiving so he could hunt deer. That was his 3 weeks of vacation. And once in a while we got to go where he went fishing, because it might be an old house there that somebody had, like a camp, and we get to stay there for a couple days. And I wanted to go to Great North Pole type, the Santa Claus type stuff when I was young, and my father just thought that stuff was senseless. And so we did, and the other people all said the same thing. And some of them would go and visit family for a couple of days who had a camp, but that was about the extent of their vacation. So it's interesting to find out, not only do you have a lot in common with those people, but that things were really very different when we were younger. Peace lunch again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Call a couple of days ahead of time to order your lunch. They had the 85th birthday thing the other day, and I guess that went over very nicely. A lot of people showed up, and it's just a nice little connection. And Nancy Sullivan, as always, is available. If anybody has a problem, particularly with HEAP or any of the services, if you need a ride, they'll connect you with the county to get you a ride to a doctor's office, that type of stuff. So there is that out there. I got a call today, asked somebody, a pastor, wanting to know a little bit of guidance about having a Christmas Eve service. I told him to check with the chief first of all, but better yet, call the county executive's office and get a real feel for what they're thinking.
Yeah.
He was aware of the fact that within a week or two things could change drastically, so any plans they have could change in a hurry.
Yep.
So everybody's trying to be a little loose and loosey-goosey and do what they can. Hopefully the churches will, if they're going to have a Christmas Eve service, will do something where they put it on, talk to PAC B and see if they can get it on. or go on Facebook Live.
Yeah, a lot of them are definitely doing that, the Facebook Live stuff. The other thing in talking to people in the community is when they're making their plans for whether it's November or December, is they're planning for orange. So if we're in the green or we're in the yellow, the plans don't have to fall apart because they planned for orange. That the event that we talked about last week with at the fireside, that's kind of, the question that the nonprofit had is what happens if we go to orange, and the fireside said we set up so that we're okay if we go to orange. And I think churches and other organizations, you kind of have to plan for that so that you don't have to cancel.
Yeah, it's always easier to go back, but you plow forward and find out there's a barrier there, and now you've got nothing going.
Yep.
So hopefully I would really hope people would be careful at Thanksgiving. I hate for a huge spike to suddenly come. It does get depressing. I mean, I have to admit, there's days when I get thinking, wow, is this ever going to end? And I'm pretty sure it is. I'm not an expert on all this kind of stuff, but it happened in other eras where diseases like this came along and suddenly it was over. Unfortunately, a lot of people lost their lives, and that's the sad part.
Right.
So hopefully, I wanted to show you, we're decorating for Christmas and a little bit of history. This was a gift that I bought for my mom long before Linda and I were married. And we've been married 35 years. This was one of those little things that was set up in the mall. They had a table out in the center of the mall and all these different,
like a kiosk
type of things. And so I thought, she's kind of a sentimentalist, and she liked it. And after she passed, I said, this is going to my house, and every year we put that out. We're not putting as many in the house decorations up because we're not going to have anybody in the house as far as we know at this point. So some of the stuff was put up so when the grandkids came in, it would be more festive. And so to save ourselves a little put up and take down time, we went with just kind of the special things. So the tree is up, the lights and the garland are on, most of the decorations are on, that type of stuff. But some stockings are up just for color and so on. But you do what seems right, and hopefully we'll get the best of the holiday. And again, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and remind them that 6:00 tonight we'll be back with a little surprise, and I think they'll get a kick out of it. And don't you be going up on that roof.
Gosh, I love my roof, Mayor. I love it.
Over at the edge, and now I'm over at the edge of the roof, and I'm holding on the chair like, oh.
The best is when you're up there and people honk at you, and you look down to wave, and then Brian's behind me. Don't look down. He's a great sport, as you know. He's done wonders for my building, but he keeps telling me going on your roof is my job, not your job. But I love heights. I love being up there, and it's completely flat. And
your clock looks great.
It does. Yeah.
Love your clock.
And I'm not sure when the Christmas tree is going to go up. He's got to get another guy to kind of help him. And anybody that's driven past, we've had some electrical issues when we started messing with the lights out front. So John Penny has all the lights working now. We just need to get an outlet, and then the tree is up. But I have to laugh because I don't know if you know John Penny. He's been around for years in the village, but I would love to have seen his face when Brian told him I was putting a tree on top of my building, because I don't think he's a tree on the top of the building type of an electrician.
Well, it's that kind of year. You're doing outside the box.
Yes.
I just hope that we can have a nice Thanksgiving, Christmas combination of holidays, and hopefully the weather's not too bad and people can get out and ride around. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of UPS and FedEx trucks in neighborhoods because people are staying out of stores and ordering online.
Yeah. Did you see, I just want to plug real quick in case people are not on Facebook and they'll watch this on Pack or something, but the Volunteer Center, the Christmas Bureau, now has an Amazon link. So people who shop on Amazon can, they don't have to go into the stores. They have the list of what typically gets purchased. So that's just another way to donate, because that's a local, the Christmas Bureau is a Baldwinsville school district. I don't know what, organization, basically. So it's just another way to help. And because people were concerned about going out and shopping for it. So I just saw this past week.
That's what we kind of ask people to do, is kind of think outside the box a little bit. And I think that's great because, my wife said, oh, I'd love to go get some, I'm not going in a store.
Yeah.
And then she did see the Amazon thing, and she's an Amazon shopper a lot. And she was before the pandemic. So, I hope, again, I without pounding on that nail too much, I hope people support the local groups that are helping people during this time, and always help people. And that will make everybody's life a little bit better. I've seen some people on Facebook requesting help. And the ones I saw, they weren't asking for much.
No.
Just, a little bit of help with something for a child. And, sometimes they need a car seat, or we have great people. I know Pam Milek and her group. I mean, she's on all the time.
Yep.
Saying that somebody needs something. Can anybody help us? And so that's a great way to really celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas, is to help other people. So, that said, everything in the village is still working. We're clicking along. We've got our budgets in to start looking over, and at early look is that we might be in better shape than we thought we were going to be in. So that's good. Everybody kept their budgets tight, and we'll find out at our next meeting, because we have a budget meeting before and after our regular meeting. And
go from there.
Other than that, have a great holiday, everybody.
Yeah, and hopefully we see you at 6:00. Bye, Mayor.
Okay, Shelley. Bye-bye.